How y'all doing? This is Hunt 919 True Sports coming to you with another segment about how I feel about the coaching staff after the loss to UCLA. We'll get right into it. As you all know, I love gear. So the gear checked, I love the white, black, and gold with the black helmets. The white looked really good, especially on television with the UCLA colors behind it or the field. Coach Prime, of course, matched it with the white and gold hoodie with a black hat and the black headsets. That always looks good to me. So we get right into the game. As far as offensive coordinator Sean Lewis, they started out with a quick positive, meaning they gave a quick pitch out to Dylan. And he ran for a quick 9 yards. It's amazing how much space he makes up in this little amount of time. Once he get into the open field, I've been calling for that for a while, and they did it. I think they did it twice, and then I didn't see it anymore. They still run him up the middle from time to time. I don't understand that, but it is what it is at this point. They have been consistent with doing that, so obviously that's in their game plan. I know what they're hoping for. They're hoping for him to find a little space or a little crack in the defense and take off down the middle of the field. But if anything, it keeps the running backs honest. But they don't run enough, so that really doesn't work. For the first time in a while, the offense didn't actually do enough or score enough to win the game. They normally score and put up points to give themselves or their team a chance to win. That didn't happen this time. There are obviously they're having blocking issues and running the ball issues that's well documented. At this point, I don't know how much I can blame Coach Lewis, because after listening to Coach Prime talk about how quickly he gives up on the running game, I think Sean Lewis is doing what he's told. I don't think they're asking him to throw in any running plays. And I think that's sad, because you got 5 legit running backs that you got to come to that school and you're not using them. And really, all passing only benefits Shador, to be honest with you. Yes, the receivers to a certain point, but it really just is good for Shador. Now it's not, because he's getting hit all the time. So I don't know how much we can keep blaming Coach Lewis for that. I think they should run more run plays, not to get yardage, because you're not going to score on every possession, which I don't know if Coach Prime understands that. But it'll give your son, Shador, a chance to breathe without getting hit every play. It'll eat up the clock. It opens up another possibility for you to score, and it makes that defense play a little bit different than just sending, 4, 5, 6 players just right up the gut after the quarterback. The offense went 27 for 43 for 217 yards and 1 touchdown. That TD came when Coach Kelly kind of took his foot off the gas, so that was at the end of the game. This was a terrible game overall for the offense. There's not too much to say about that. We all know what's going on. They're having blocking issues. So something they're going to have to work on the next 4 weeks. As far as the offensive line, they have what they have for now. Everybody keeps saying change things, this and that. They have what they have, and they have to coach what they have. And let's just hope they get it together to give themselves a chance the next 4 games. I personally think they need to slow down on offense. The hurry-up offense is not doing anything but making sure that Shador gets hit a lot, and it's giving their defense a short break, because they're right back on the field, especially when you play UCLA. It's a bunch of 3 and outs, which if you saw my video before the game with my prediction, I said that UCLA causes a lot of 3 and outs, and that's exactly what they did. So let's move on to the running backs. Coach Gary Harrell, not really much to say here. There's absolutely no running game. The running backs went for 11 attempts for 45 yards. That was between 4 running backs, which is terrible. Shador himself went 13 rushes for a negative 20 yards. Terrible. No one got no more than 4 carries. Terrible, which means nobody's going to get into a rhythm at all. They put Alton in at the end of the game again. He led in rushes with 14 yards on 2 carries. That's terrible. How does the guy come in and run the ball twice, and he's a lead in yards for the running backs? There's no need to question how they use the running backs at this point. They seem like they have a system that they're going by. I don't know if it's because Coach Prime will not allow a lot of running, which it sounds like he doesn't. So those guys, especially people like Smoke, have been wasted this year. They've wasted a total year playing at Colorado. So that is what it is. Let's move on to the wide receiving group. Coach Brett. The receivers went for a combination of 217 yards and went 1 touchdown. Jimmy Horn caught the only touchdown late in the game, as I said. Xavier Weaver led with 86 yards, another decent game for him. 9 different receivers caught passes, which is great. Shador, he's a very good quarterback. I can't take that from the guy. Top level quarterback. 9 different receivers caught passes. Caleb, it was good to see Caleb Mathis finally get an opportunity. A freshman, he went 4 for 15. And I can't really blame this group too much. I think they did the best they could with the opportunities that they had and the opportunities that Shador had. The receivers depend on the offensive line just like everybody else. Let's move on to the tight ends. Tim Brewster. Michael Harrison went 1 for 12. That was it. And that didn't bother me. I think they actually should keep the tight ends in just to block, just make them an extra offensive lineman at this point. I think that's something they really need to think about, sending them out to catch passes. They don't need him at this point. They have 9 that they can get the ball to, obviously. So let's make him a blocker, help the offensive line out. The offensive line coach, Tim Brewster, we know that they're not blocking well. I will not beat up on the young man anymore. They're getting enough of that. Maybe try run blocking. Just run the ball a couple of possessions. It's better, it's easier for those big guys to run forward than it is to run backwards, backpedaling for pass blocking. So just run the ball, whether they stop you or not. Coach Prime, who cares at this point? Let's run the ball. Let's just let those guys run forward a little bit. Let them put out some punishment, and give your son Shador a chance to get get a breather, so he's not getting hit every game. Let's forget about stats. Let's just think about trying to get better for next year to a certain level. I mean, we're not giving up on this year, but something has to be done instead of this kid just back there just taking hit after hit after hit. And you have to remember, even when it's not a sack, he's still getting hit. So that is what it is. They can't protect Shador at this point. Number 78 came in. He got hurt on the first play, which I just thought was kind of sad that he, after one play, he was already limping. Shador was sacked 7 times. He was pressured 22 times, hit 17 times, knocked down 13 times. And nationwide, it's just crazy that this is going on. That's a lot of hits, a lot of falls, and he's not the biggest guy in the world, and that could catch up to him. Let's move on to the defensive tackles, which Coach Sal, the defensive ends coach, Coach Nick Williams, the linebackers Coach Hart. Again, they kept their opposing team below their national average of 30 points, allowing only 28 points. The 2 to 3 plays after halftime really ended the game. They did produce 3 sacks. Mr. Bentley had a sack, and Jordan had 2 sacks. So they played very well. They just didn't have enough scoring hit from the offensive side. They have only one 12-man penalty, and you can see the coaches got into it on the sidelines about that, which I like to see. But that only happened one time, so it wasn't their penalties. For the most part, that group held up. I mean, you can't complain about holding the team, especially a ranked team, below the national average of 30 points. So I thought that was good. The cornerbacks coach, Kevin Mathis, I still don't understand what they're doing with Cormani. It's kind of sad to a certain level unless the kid is really that bad or things that we don't know about. The group looked very good. You did not see a lot of crossing patterns this time. You did not see a lot of the cornerbacks getting taken advantage of. The group looked good. They produced 4 turnovers and 2 fumbles. 4 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and 2 interceptions. Shiloh was playing well. He caused a fumble, but of course he got kicked out of the game because of that hit. This is what I would say to Shador. You have to start wrapping up. Go for the waist, wrap up, and take him down. Going for the big hit. They're trying to take that out of the game. If you haven't figured that out by now. When you look at it in slow motion, I still think it was a bad call, but when you look at it in slow motion, his intention was not to hit the guy in his head or in the mask, even though he ended up doing it. He did lead with his shoulder, but when you lead with your shoulder, you're also leading with your head. The guy didn't even know you was there. Just go and take him down at this point. I know you play a certain way, but they're trying to take that way of football out of the game, and it is what it is. But he was playing a good game until they took him out. And yes, it did affect the game. I believe the outcome of the game. So I agree with Coach on that. Travis Hunter, those 2 picks he had looked awesome. And if you saw the video I did on him when I said that they need to basically give him only a certain number of packages as a wide receiver, make him a full-time cornerback. And did he not look fresh, and did he not produce? So hopefully I think that's a format that they'll go forward with at this point. He does not need to be, doing 100 and some odd snaps between both sides of the ball. That's crazy. Let's hit the special teams. Coach Trevor. They did get creative with the kickoff when they did a reverse to Dillon, which I thought was cool. It shows that they're trying to figure something out. So I was happy to see that. The bright spots was Matter. He went 3 for 3. Even though, I don't know if y'all saw one of my videos, I said that even when they make them, it looks like they're almost getting blocked. And I know what I'm seeing because this happened again. The guy actually ran past the kick and Mata was able to kick it, which shows great concentration on his part, but something's going on, and I think it's from that left side where Michael, the tight end, is sitting. They keep running right past him. It seems like it's always the left side over there. So it was almost blocked, but it wasn't. Facette had a couple punts that were low punts, but at the same time, I can't say they really cost them the game. Overall, they did look bad. It looks like some of the guys on the offensive line may have given up. I'm gonna do a video on that. But on a positive note, I think people have totally forgotten they are 4-4, which is not bad from where they came from. You all, they came from one win last year. They're 500 right now, with the chance to still make a bowl game. So let's just still hope. Let's hang in there with them. Of course, criticism will come because there's millions of people watching the game. But let's just hope they get it together. They're still 4-4 at 500 in the top conference. I'm in the top Power 5 conference. And let's hope they get everything together and they can, start making some noise on the positive side and make a bowl game. All right, that's my take on it, on the game. Let's hope they win the next one. This has been Hunt 919 Truth Sports. Ride with me.